Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining me today on another episode of Cartels Unearthed. Today I have a special episode. This one just came out of the blue, pretty much. Mostly because I received a letter from Quica, or by his real name, Dandeny Munoz. We all know who he is. If you follow this particular topic of cartels and narcos and the Medellin cartel, we know that Dandeny Munoz, alias Quica, was one of the sicarios was allegedly one of the sicarios in the Medellin cartel, working very closely with Pablo Escobar and Popeye. So, a little background on this particular reasoning for this letter before I get into why I got this letter or what's on this letter. Me and him have been writing back and forth for a little bit now. It's been about a year and a half, I think. Now, it seems like a lot, but he is in a maximum security prison, and he has been moved around a bit over the last 18 months since I've been talking to him at least. So it does take a while for a letter for me to get a letter to him. And I'm pretty sure it takes a minute for a letter to get from him to me. Also, it's quite interesting because we are supposed to be, he did request to put me on the prisons have a system where you could communicate with somebody via email, digitally, make it faster, and he did add me on that system because they need to add people from the outside. So me being outside can't add him. He has to add me. And he did add me, but there's been some problem with the fact that I haven't been able to access that. I don't know it's because I'm in Ochoa and he is Dandeny Munoz and he's in prison for obviously terrorism, allegedly. So I don't know. I know when I've written to my cousin Fabio, the rules are when you write a letter, there are high profile inmates, they read the letters. So whatever I send him, they read it first, and then he gets it, and then whatever he responds to me, they read it, and then I get it. So I don't know. I mean, nothing. I haven't written to Dandeny about breaking him out in a helicopter or anything, or in any sense or way. No breaking out anybody. But like I said, we were supposed to be able to communicate much more easily with this digital system that the prison systems have, but we've been unsuccessful with that. And like I said, I have been added. I was told I was added from a letter, but I have not been able to access the part that I should be able to access now. So we still are stuck with snail mail. Alright, so got this letter not too long ago. I'm going to share with you, it's in Spanish. Dandeny does not read, he does not speak English. I've never spoken to him on the phone, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't speak English. He definitely doesn't write it. It's a letter in Spanish. The moment I got this letter, he was somewhere in the southeast of the United States. I don't want to say the exact address or anything, but he was in the southeast of the United States in a prison, in a very high maximum security prison. I'm going to share with you guys about half of this. The other half is a little bit more sensitive and more relatable to something I don't want to share right now. That's just how much there is out there. But I'm going to share something that's very, very relatable to the episodes I just did of Avianca 203. So he at the point, he's been there now for he's been in prison for 27 years. So in this letter, he's asking if I can take a look at an investigation for him. Small world, it really is. Some things are just crazy. So I'll tell you right now that from the letter, from the tone of the letter, he's very he's very hopeful. It doesn't seem like a letter that is like I'm depressed or I am upset. He seems, regardless of everything that's happened to him already in the last 27 years being in prison, he seems very hopeful in his letter. He's asks to look into an investigation that was done by a Colombian journalist not too long ago. Now, he makes it very clear that he is innocent of the bombing of Avianca 203, okay, of the explosion that brought down Avianca Flight 203. He's very adamant about that. He makes it very clear, and it's in Spanish, but he says, I am very clear, I'm very confident in knowing I have done no crimes to either the USA or Colombia. So, it's quite interesting. It's an interesting letter because, first of all, I just covered the Avianca 203 investigation that he's talking about. The exact investigation he's talking about is the investigation I covered in the 3 parts. So you didn't watch the 3 parts, now you should watch them because he's making it very clear that he also has proof that makes him innocent. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, when you are in prison, you are allowed access to your files. You are allowed access to your files, and by the looks of what he's saying in his letter, he has had access to his files, and he says he has proof to confirm his innocence. That shows that he is innocent to the Colombian government and the American government. Again, he sent me to the same investigation, so when I read this, I understood what he was talking about because I had just finished looking into that investigation, and again, that investigation is the one I covered in the 3 parts of Avianca 203. So, which, you guys saw the opinion video, you guys know what I'm trying to tell you guys here. He's asking also for help at getting him a lawyer, if it would be possible. Obviously, he has no money, he doesn't make money, and at the end of the day, he is serving 10 life sentences in prison. So there is, sometimes prisons give small jobs to inmates and they make a little bit of money, which they get when they get out, but I don't think that's the case when you are serving 10 life sentences. There is no hope of you ever getting out. Again, he reminds me that he's in the, he tried again to put me in the, this particular digital system so that we can communicate, but we have not had any success with that. This is very, reading something like this, it's kind of, it's sad when you think about it. Here is a letter from somebody who is, at the moment, he's very hopeful and he's confident and he knows he did nothing wrong and he has proof and he wants me to look into this investigation to possibly help him. But you have to think that the person who's writing this has no hope at this particular second of ever seeing the light of day or freedom ever again, and that's difficult. That really is difficult, especially even more so when, forget the investigation and the proof that says otherwise, people have taken credit for it, even though when they took credit for it, it didn't add up. They took credit for this crime. So you have other people who took credit for it, you have investigations that show that he didn't do it. And I don't know if anyone remembers, but back when Dandeny Munoz, La Quica, was in trial, the Attorney General for Colombia, I know that's not their title, but he was actually featured in Narcos. He wrote a letter he is the highest ranking police, Attorney General type person in that, but pretty much like the Minister of, not Justice, but he was highest ranking member of the law in Colombia, and he wrote a letter to the judge in the United States that was overseeing La Quica's case, and he made a point of saying that Colombia has no proof to show that La Quica, or Dandeny Munoz, alias La Quica, was responsible for the explosion on Avianca 203. So, again, I feel that everyone can completely, unanimously agree La Quica is innocent. Dandeny Munoz is innocent. To have the highest ranking law enforcement official in the government of Colombia write a personal letter to the judge of the case, overseeing the case of Dandeny Munoz, saying we have no proof that he is guilty, for two other members of the managing cartel to vouch for him, saying he had nothing to do with this, for one of them to say I did it, even though his proof wasn't entirely accurate to match up with what he was saying, but he was taking credit for it, and the Colombian government did charge him on that test, on him testifying and saying that he blew up the plane. They did charge him for that. But then at the same time, all the investigation, the same investigation that he's telling me to look into, which I just finished doing, and I shared with you guys, the entire investigation pretty much shows that he had nothing to do with this. He had nothing to do with this, and not only that, but it probably wasn't even a bomb. So I think we could all agree that Mr. Dandeny Munoz is innocent. And it's sad to see a letter when I get a letter like this, and similar to my cousin, regardless of what someone did in their past, like they're paying, at least my cousin has the chance to get out in 12 to 15 years. Mr. Munoz is serving 10 life sentences, so he has to die 10 times and come back to life before he can ever consider getting out. So I'm gonna write back to him. I'm gonna finish looking into the investigation a little bit more before I write back to him, and I really hope that these videos might be able to resonate with people and get spread out a little bit. And you never know, sometimes in the smallest way something big can happen, and we just might be able to get some attention on his case and maybe give him some hope to maybe see the light of day and freedom once again. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. Like I said, this was a very last minute one because I just got this not too long ago, and I felt it was only prudent to share it with you guys, especially after reading it and I saw that it involved the investigation of Avianca and the revelations that had come out to light not too long ago. So thanks guys for watching it. I'd love to see your comments. Let me know below. I'll build a video on Instagram. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and just stay tuned for more episodes that are coming up. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.